Greetings. My name is Emerson Powery, and I'm an Associate Professor of New Testament and Chair of the Department of Theology at Lee University, a liberal arts college in Cleveland, Tennessee. I will serve as your host for the next several months for this journey of reading through the Bible. It is an opportunity that I personally cherish because I am confident that a consistent reading of Scripture in community is one of the most exciting responsibilities in which you can engage for your own personal discipleship. Before we begin our journey together, let me offer a few words on what you might expect in this task of reading Scripture. Karl Barth, one of the greatest theologians of the 20th century, called the Bible a strange new world in which we must participate. Martin Luther King Jr., one of the greatest nonviolent revolutionaries in history, found his method in the central character of the Bible, Jesus of Nazareth. In her reading of Scripture, Dorothy Day described the Bible as her earliest memory of discovering God. Sojourner Truth viewed the Bible as a mixture of God's words and humans' words through which the Spirit could speak, especially when children read to her. Too often, she observed, adults wanted to add too much commentary. What these extraordinary persons held in common was a deep commitment to struggle with Scripture on behalf of the other, that is, the larger community of fellow humans. William Sloane Coffin has recently written that wrestling with Scripture, far from a sign of weakness, is a reflection of religious faithfulness. What else should you wrestle with if not the Bible? What struggle offers more reward? The Bible is like a sacrament, a means of grace. It mediates God's presence in the life of each of us and God's concern for the whole planet. Can this Bible still communicate to us in meaningful ways in our various settings? It is our claim that it can, and it must. The ancient biblical story of God is of vital importance for readers of all generations. Whether the stories of Scripture function as exemplars or as analogies, each biblical book relays an impression or impressions of the experience of God among the people of God. The perspectives of the biblical writers vary from book to book. Some texts represent the views of the majority. Other texts, such as Job, Jonah, and James, appear to challenge the majority view and traditional thinking of their respective communities. Our struggle with the prevailing tradition and the activity of God in our midst is essential to the ongoing conversation between the people of God and the text of Scripture. It is, in fact, part of what it means to read and reread Scripture faithfully.